On today's show, we meet a Minnesota family that's serious about their snowmobiling. No, not the latest and greatest, but the vintage kind. Up next, winter's cold has a way of slowing down some of our outdoor activities, but not in Black Duck, Minnesota. There's an outdoor lover there that embraces her time with her 3 best friends. And it's a changing of the guard, so to speak, up in Waukesha, Minnesota. What happens when a legendary fishing guide retires? We'll meet the next fishing legend. And our Minnesota Bound Classic this week takes a look at our favorite backyard robber. Sometimes all you can do is keep them dancing. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show. You know, we all believe there's nothing like the good old days, right? Well, in our first story, it's about a family that also believes there's nothing like the good old days of snowmobiling.
They are vintage snow horses now. Many Minnesota made a half-century ago, but all Minnesota loved, still today, especially by these folks, Don and Louise Nelson.
What are we doing?
Freezing.
This historic site in and around the Nelson's pole barn says it all.
To have, at the very least, a better year than last year?
Yeah, you see the last job that even Lee.
I've been collecting for 20 years. It'd be hard to explain where I got them all. I just picked them up here and there. Some were free and some were not. And they all take some work. You spend a lot of time tinkering with them, getting them going, and especially a day.
A few brand names may be familiar. Some gone but not forgotten. Or simply old and stubborn about starting. Some more stubborn than others. Encouraged by starter fluid, one by one, they're ready to go. And so is the entire Nelson family. Would you believe 20 or more of all ages?
Five years ago, we did this the first time, and the family just thought it'd be fun to do this, just for a fun family thing, and it became so much fun that they want to do it every year. You know, we planned this weekend quite some time in advance, and not knowing what the weather was going to be like, we can't do anything about it. It's below 0. With wind chill, it's probably 20 below.
Yeah, it's different. Not a lot of people do this. Yeah, anybody has a lot of people have the new sleds, but not a lot of people have the old ones, and it's not something everyone can do.
It's unique, and I think we are a unique family anyway, and this just is perfect for what Dad has done for years and what he has gotten all of us to love.
First stop, riding trails at Big Bog State Park, where the vintage sleds are celebrities. Time to move on. With a 20 below wind chill, the family parade of old sleds pulls into the West Wind Resort on frozen Upper Red Lake. Another tradition, warm tacos.
just a fun time. We have a great family, and it's just a good time to get together, and we all get along, which is a good thing, and, and we just like it. It's just great.
And I'm getting cold.
Yeah.
The dogs are pretty close behind it.
Up next, need some ideas on what to do this winter? Here's 3 hints.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, Ice Force, Star Bank, Connecticut, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Coming up, the sound of bugling beagles on the hunt is not heard much anymore, but we found a place where you can hear it in the house and in the woods. Travis Frank has the story.
On a cold winter morning, silence blankets northern Minnesota's forest. But this serenity ends at Katie Barnard's front door. Inside, her beagles can't hide their excitement.
Oh yeah, they know where they're going. They're excited.
Well, I can't pick favorites. Jay is 9, Millie is 11, and Gertie is 8.
Millie leads by example.
She's the natural. The other 2 were taught by her.
Sniff around a little bit, they'll probably jump a rabbit.
These rabbit hunters let you know when they find one.
When they get on one, when they jump it, they start to howl and squeal, and they naturally run the rabbit in a circle.
It's the rabbit's way of trying to confuse their following predator.
You hope you're in the right spot and it runs right past you.
Easier said than done.
That's Millie right behind us. And the barking gets louder and louder and louder as they get closer. Kind of sounds like she's coming this way. It's pretty exciting that you know the rabbit's probably coming and you should be ready.
I just saw one right in the bushes right there, and the dogs are pretty close behind it.
Like a ghost, the snowshoe hare
He went that way.
disappears.
We miss quite a bit. We're not always in the right place at the right time.
Come on, come.
It doesn't really matter if you get a rabbit or not. It's the fun of taking the dogs out and letting them have fun.
Pick him up, Jay. He's in here somewhere. Come on. Even though they're working really hard, they're having a lot of fun. You can tell. They got Happy Tail.
Happy Tail hopefully leads to a rabbit in the bag. But a rabbit
Come on, girl.
would be
Good girl.
just a bonus.
Oh, there it goes.
For Katie, this hunt
There goes a rabbit.
has a bigger picture.
Rabbit hunting is definitely all about the dogs. They're my kids. I've never not had a beagle since I was born. My grandpa and his dad had dogs.
So did her father, Gary.
My dad ran foxhounds when he was a kid, and we gradually got into some coonhounds, and beagles was kind of an extension of that.
He gave Katie a beagle early on, and her love for them stuck.
She's always liked her beagles, and we've been hunting them all along.
Little did he know, the hound dog passion they shared would only grow with time.
I really enjoy spending time with him. We do a lot of stuff together, hunting, trapping, fishing. I do have 2 older brothers, but he took me out too, and I think it worked out pretty good for him because I've ended up being his best hunting partner.
They just keep trying to circle around this one.
One rabbit track to the next. They follow Katie's beagles,
Good girl.
watching,
And Gertie.
waiting, and listening,
I love that sound.
hoping for a chance and a clear shot.
Another day, another rabbit gets away. You did good. You did real good.
Rabbit or not,
I saw it, but I didn't get it.
Katie never goes home empty-handed,
That's a good girl. Good job. Come on, Jake.
leaving only fresh tracks in the snow. The forest, once again, goes quiet.
Okay, so you want to go winter camping, but you're worried about being warm and being comfortable. Well, have I got something to show you. Now, winter camping, I grew up in these guys, quinsies or a snow cave. You just pile up a bunch of snow, let it settle, hollow it out, presto, winter shelter that stays pretty warm. But here's the newest, hottest thing, so to speak, in winter camping. These are called hot tents. They're teepees. But here's the thing, this thing's got a little surprise. Let me show you what it's all about. Pretty nice, huh? These hot tents, look at this. They've got titanium stoves. This thing actually folds up into a tiny little envelope. The tent, the post, and the stove, 14 pounds. That's it, and it packs up the same size as a regular tent. And the best part is, now you've got a fire inside the tent. Teepees, they're a design that have been around forever. And guess what? They're now making a comeback.
When a legendary fishing guide steps aside, who takes the helm? We'll meet the next legend in line.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Borderview Lodge.
As you might expect, Minnesota has lots of very famous fishing guides, legends if you will. One of them is by the name of Spyder Johnson, who guided for years up in Upper Red Lake. Well, what happens when the legend guides retire? Well, we have the answer, and Bill Shirk has the story.
So, you want to be a fishing guide.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good. I need a ride out to FH12.
They're coming.
Better like early alarm clocks and people.
Oh, you can go a long ways. You don't need a road. Oh yeah, plenty busy.
Curtis Rigg knows.
This is exactly what I want to be doing.
Early on a weekday morning,
There's a whole lot of people.
Curtis cruises past a perpetual line of anglers chomping at the bit to find fish, such as winter life on Minnesota's Upper Red Lake. A lifestyle Curtis knows well.
Fishing. That's it.
That's it.
Just fishing. Jigging's been doing really good.
With what colors?
Colors haven't mattered too much, green and red.
See, Curtis just acquired one of Red Lake's best guide gigs, an ice fishing business started by the guy on the sign, Old Spyder Johnson.
Yeah, he's well known, there's no doubt about it. A lot of repeat business, yes. I've got to know them all very well, so it worked out pretty good.
And now, Curtis can hardly keep up with the clock.
Looks like you don't have batteries in there.
I just took them out.
Oh, I never know with you.
Come on, Curtis, I'm better than that.
Get here in the morning, clean up the houses, vacuum everything, move them if necessary, wait for everybody to get here, and go pick them up, bring them to the house, check on them in the afternoons, and then back out in the mornings.
Exactly why Curtis covets time off the clock and on the ice. In this case, it's date night with his gal.
I came up here a lot last year and he was super busy getting out on the ice and helping people out, but so far it's been really good.
Courtney Sherga appreciates the time together.
We got a couple hours in on Monday.
Until this happens.
Yeah, phones are always on, that's for sure.
Hello. You've got to be pretty close to her. Yeah, why don't we do that? As soon as he gets here, just call me and then I'll meet you guys out on the road.
That is the life of the fishing guide. Here's why.
Oh, I missed them.
For every Red Lake fish missed, anglers catch 2 more.
Jiminy's.
This lake had a reputation as a walleye factory, with a few surprises.
Look at the size of that one.
Nowadays, I mean, the way they've rebuilt it and got everything back on order, you can do amazing on this lake for amounts.
Exactly why Curtis needed help.
What would you call me? Like a sidekick?
So Courtney is his right-hand woman.
I come out when I can and I help when I can, but Curtis has this down pat really well. I'll help vacuum and get the houses ready.
Oh yeah, she's out and around cleaning houses whenever she can. She loves being out here, so can't ask for much more.
The life of a guide, 24/7. And you know what? Curtis wouldn't have it any other way.
Coming up, winter is a season to celebrate. Just ask our backyard friend, the squirrel, the dancing squirrel.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Northland Tracker Boating Centers and by Totem Resorts.
Time now for our Minnesota Bound Classic. When it comes to bird feeders and squirrels, there's a love-hate relationship often. What about adding a little fun to that relationship?
Backyard squirrels. Nice to have around, I suppose, if only the dang things weren't so fond of expensive bird seeds or so skilled at wrecking bird feeders. We try to foil these birdseed thieves, but usually to no avail. Not so with Scott Schultz. He decided to, well, get even.
I thought, well, I can't get rid of all the squirrels, so I figured I'd come up with a feeder, and my criteria was I wanted them to work for the food.
Scott's working squirrel idea turned into Squirrel Fun.
Somewhere, I don't know where, the idea of making them bungee jump.
Behold the squungy.
Started out with just a piece of elastic, and they chewed it and stole the corn, and it progressed to the metal spring and the chain and cable, and that's how it got started.
This is nuts, said the squirrels.
That seemed to work. It gave them something to eat and kept them away from the bird feeders for the most part. It turned out to be very funny to watch.
To prove it, Scott has videoed their antics.
They're spinning, they're swinging, twirling, they do everything. They hang upside down. The squungy holds 2 ears of corn, and they sometimes hold on to one and feed off the other, or they'll hang upside down and straddle the 2 corn. If you're gonna feed them anyway, you might as well get some enjoyment out of watching them eat.
In the end, the squirrels win. They get the food, we pay for the fun. It's a nutty deal, but hey, with squirrels, what do you expect?
You know, we tend to cuss at squirrels around bird feeders, but we have to admit their acrobatic skills are amazing. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Schara, and of course my squirrel hunting dog and star of the show is Raven.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.